What is up, my lovely people in Blue Tablet land? So for today's video, guys, I'm going to be drawing you all this cute, creepy looking forest tree. If that's something you guys are interested in and would like to draw along, stick around and let's get started. So the actual plan for today's video was to actually draw you all a coffin, but then I was like, this is gonna be too boring because it's just a little box made out of wood. So I figured draw the next best thing, which would be this tree. Because I think trees have got so many details and not aspirations but so many characteristics to them, and there's a whole lot of texture and stuff that you can do with this kind of an illustration as opposed to the actual coffin. Kind of give it a nice growly looking mouth, kind of was like yeah. But if I sound like a grog, guys, today, it's because I have got some bug that's in my throat, and it's just that scratchy feeling, and it's just such a what. But yeah, I think trees, I think, are one of the best things I like to draw when it comes to building up backgrounds, and I think they make a good illustration piece, especially if somebody's starting out and wants to learn how to draw something like not just a regular tree, but something that's got like some character, some eyes, and I think the first time I ever looked at one of these trees was in a cartoon that aired many years ago, which was called Rainbow Bright. So to any of my followers and new people that have logged on or are on the channel right now and watching, and that were born in the 80s and 90s, comment below which was your favorite cartoon growing up and what is the character that you guys liked about or in that cartoon. Like for me, it was Ninja Turtles, the Thundercats, and then there was my favorite, which was Voltron. And I think the characters that you are used to when you're growing up just become part of your life in the aspect of when you draw, especially you try to see how you can possibly incorporate something of that time era into my illustrations. And so I figured drawing this tree would have been an ideal way to talk about just trees in general. Like now over here where I'm staying at, there's this big highway that's kind of coming up, and there used to be a huge banyan tree that was right off the main stretch of the highway. So just having to relocate something as huge as that was just breathtaking to see the amount of equipment and heavy machinery they had to deploy just to get it moved, because I'm guessing that tree is over 50, maybe 100 years at this point old, because it's been sitting there for as long as I can remember. And the best part about this tree is it takes me back to the time when my uncle and I used to go to these like a forest kind of an outing with the entire family, and this family had the exact same tree in their backyard, and we used to swing from it and just have like a whole lot of fun. And then when my uncle was like, hey, let me kind of show you how that is done, I think he may have managed to catch one of the most limpiest of roots, and then whoop, he was like smack straight on his ass. And I was like, yep, are you sure it's as strong as you said it was? But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, since we're on the topic of drawing this beautiful little tree. So as I was doing the illustration, I figured I'd do the details for the tree along with the line art, so that way it doesn't become a 35 to 40 minute video, so that way I can save some time and kind of talk to you guys about the whole process of drawing this lovely tree. And as I said, in my early illustrations, the detail part is pretty much up to you guys. And right now what I'm doing is just kind of drawing random lines on the branches. This is just to signify the actual texture of the tree and to show where the possible shadows that are going to be applied once I do the coloring will kind of find its area on the tree, So for the colors, I chose a regular color for a tree, and I kind of wanted to choose like a grayish color, but as you can tell, the background's gray, so I was like, nah, that might not work out. Some dark gray for the leaves to signify some sort of decayed leaves, and then some whitish cream color for the teeth, and then for the shine in the eyes, and then for the eyeballs I figured I'd go with a nice yellow, because that's been the theme of all the illustrations so far, so I figured I'd keep it yellow. I was actually considering green, but I figured just stick with yellow so it'll make it easier for everybody to follow along. But yeah, for the most part, a darker brown obviously for the inside. And now for the actual shading, what I did was I chose the same line art color and turned the opacity down to around 30%. So for anybody that's following out there that's new, pretty much what I do is I just select the color that I used to do the line art, and then I make a layer above the flat colors. And then what ends up happening is once you turn down the opacity, you end up getting a natural shadow look to the color that's underneath. So if you do want to change out the color at some point, you can do it without any issues. And it's a technique that I learned from another artist, and I've been following it on different illustrations as I've been just illustrating and drawing and stuff like that in general. But doing these little designs for the shadow is also just something I decided to try something new, so that will kind of add to the whole texture part of the tree. Because I mean, like, how trees have that rugged, earthy kind of very textured, rough look. So I figured, doing shadows with these pointy edges might help illustrate how the tree's actual texture would be showing. And now kind of turned it up, to about 40. And I think it looks nice. And now for the highlights, I pretty much just chose white, and since the tree is a textured illustration, I figured there would not be a whole lot of highlights, especially just for the eyes, and not so much for the bark. Because the bark would just be light shining down from above, so it would be a very supple highlight if you could actually spot it on a tree. But since this is a cartoony illustration, I figured just do the shine, just to signify where all the shine would be if it was a glistening tree somewhere in the woods. But for the most part, I think this illustration's been a fun one, and I guess that's it, guys. So thanks to all my followers and the new people that have watched, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye for now.